And the government's plan to allow first home buyers to use their super to buy a home has met mixed reaction. Broadly, the super industry is dead against it. Property industry broadly in favour of it. Let's bring in our business editor, Ross Greenwood. Ross, is this the real solution?
I'd suggest probably not. It's maybe a solution, it's a part of it. And part of the problem also, I think, with the government scheme is that it really probably doesn't give enough money to those people who might be wanting to buy their first home. There's also aspects with both the government's plan with the superannuation and also with the Labor Party's plan where they'll effectively become co-investors in these homes. What happens if the house prices fall? And I think a lot of people have simply forgotten that Westpac, for example, right now has got forecasts that house prices could fall peak to trough around Australia by 14%. And so in some places, that's going to be more than 20%. But crunching the numbers for us today on Business Now, Eleanor Creagh, the senior economist at REA Group, just have a listen to what she says, because it doesn't amount to as much as you might imagine.
The average 30 to 34-year-old, if we're looking at a female, she's potentially got around 17K in her super balance, or 40% of the super balance would be around 17K. For a male, it's around 20K. So if we put that together and it's a couple plus that 5% deposit, it only really amounts to around $40,000.
And Kieran, if you've got 40 grand and you need 20% deposit to get a bank loan, that's really going to come up to 200,000. So as I say, that's a pretty typical scenario for somebody in their early 30s. The other aspect of this is that you might remember, of course, Jason Falinski was the chair of a parliamentary inquiry into housing affordability, handed down its report last year. Now, I've just spoken with the senior economist at the chief economist at the Centre for Independent Studies. That's Peter Tulip, who used to be the head of research at the Reserve Bank. He says that there's a totally different answer that neither party right now is really addressing.
Mainly what we need to do is to fix supply. That builders would love to provide more houses. Simple supply and demand says that will drop the price, that will make housing more affordable. We need to let them build.
Ross, to another very different matter, the owner of the CHEP Pallets business Brambles today said there could be a takeover in the wings. How did that share price go?
It jumped by about 11% right on the spot, I've got to tell you, so it was pretty good. And this isn't even a formal takeover offer. This is, well, we've had a bit of a chat. We might open up our books to them. We're just waiting to see what happens. But if it does happen, it could be $20 billion. But it's going to be a bit of a pattern here in Australia while the Australian dollar remains below 70 US cents. That Australian assets right now are cheap for international buyers to come in. CHEP Pallets is a global business, operates in 60 countries. I don't think any of us, have never seen a CHEP pallet, those famous blue pallets with the logo on the side. It's the biggest owner and also manufacturer of these in the world. So $20 billion is a pretty decent thing. CVC, the big private equity firm, is the organisation that they're having the talks with right now.
And Ross, tell us how a company that makes bamboo underpants was dacked by the stock market today.
Can you believe this? They list bamboo underpants companies, believe me. Anyway, so this company is called Step One Fashion, right? So it lists on the stock market last year, and the shares at that time about $1.53. They jumped almost immediately to $3. So they've doubled in price. Happy days are here again. Well, they kept falling and falling and falling. And they were about, 54 cents or something before they made an announcement today saying their sales and profits have been hammered in this past period of time. And as a result, the share price has dropped another 55% today to just, at the moment, 22 cents. So they've gone from $1.53 to $3 in the space of a very short space of time, down to 22 cents. So as you say, they were well and truly dacked today.
Weren't they what? Ross, appreciate that.